Thank you very much for joining me. Polina chatting to you a little bit about 2022 and what is going on. Okay, so let's do this. To me, Virgo doesn't look exactly right on some things, and that's a problem here at the moment. So at the moment, you are measuring things by the previous system of life. So to me, it looks like Virgo has a certain type of life plan, life support plan, ideas, greater things in mind than other people. Maybe Virgos think they are completely right and on point. They have everything worked out, they are on time, everybody knows who they are, everybody is kind of primed and pruned to their level and their style of life. So I feel that Virgo has buttered up a lot of people. They have paid people for things, they have made certain plans, or they have started maybe a certain type of design. And this is where you see like an old lady knitting a doily from a yarn that I think might not any longer be in stock. So what I'm seeing is that you might be working on a very presumptuous level sometimes. So how you kind of scoped it out, how you thought about it, how you put the little doily together, the doily of life, the design of your world, might be a little bit outdated already now. Or there might be a way that it's not going to happen and it's not your choice. So that's the hardest thing for Virgo to see. But wait, I got my degree. But wait, I butted up this person. Wait, I made plans. I got all the bookings. I got all the numbers. I've paid somebody to do this. Or I have prepared myself for this or that. Okay, so when you have a very strong Virgo personality, the pretentiousness can get very far-fetched right now. But wait a minute, and then sometimes you just want to be right so much that you would even forget what is good for you. It's like, but wait, I've signed up, wait, I've got this. We need to help you. So sometimes a Virgo person can be challenged by other people. Like people come to your house, they don't take off their shoes, they walk across your white rug, they leave stains, people piss you off basically, they bump you up, they rub you the wrong way, they make you feel ungrateful. Maybe sometimes things get really sickly and sick, maybe you can't believe that happened, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that person said this, I can't believe the story ends like this, I can't believe it, oh my gosh, I spent all this money on this, I've made all of this happen. So the best way for a Virgo to do it is just to understand that's okay that you've done what you've done. It's okay if you have overthought, overplanned, or made things kind of sticky, or you have counted on something or somebody, or you have made certain things, you have cut out a certain form, you have made a certain blueprint, you have wanted things to be a certain way. And because now it can't be that. So to me it looks like Virgo is going to be in for a mighty big surprise, and this could be a good or a bad way. So the best way it could happen, and this is very exciting to me. So if you have a lot of Virgo, something happens sometimes like this. You've done all this work, you've tried so hard, you've scoped it out, you got worried, you got sick worried, my gosh, you were so afraid. And then the bad dream is over and you get to be whoever you want to be. Like, how about that? Like, it's like magical chairs, and like suddenly, it's like a Cinderella story. Like you've tried, and you worked so hard, and you gave the people the respect that they didn't even deserve, and now you're the princess. How about that? Ha 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 ha. It's like the fairy godmother knocks on your door. So try to lean towards this. If you suddenly don't have any buyers for your business, if you suddenly don't have any friends anymore, if nobody's following your Facebook, YouTube, whatever, if you don't have any plans, make sure you're okay with it. Like, okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. When is my fairy godmother going to show up? And she's probably here already now. So some of the time, real things happen. You have unreal stuff over the top. Like, but I was so ready for this. But I was so ready to be that. I was so ready. I was so real for it. The unreal stuff that you make, you cook up, from too much thinking and planning and trying and scheming and ironing things out and putting things together and making sure everything fits. When we make too many plans, when we say too many words to too many people that don't want to hear us speaking, when we make too many unkind friends, when we make too much joke, when we have too much to do, when we have too many people counting on us. At the end of the day, everything concaves. Oh my God, it's not stable. Nothing is stable right now. It's simply because you have thought about it too much. You have planted too many seeds, but you could have been too eager to do something. Okay, entering a course of study that's not compatible with your character, helping people out that don't like you or respect you, being part of a team that doesn't want you there, doing things for people that don't like you enough or pay you enough or other things. So something is demeaning or small. Okay, it's smaller than you. Even if you've been in this industry or in this life for ages, something is smaller than you. Okay, this shoe doesn't fit anymore. So that's the thing. Something that was once really good and respected and very, very nice is now sad. You know, somebody else told you to do this and you did it. And now it's important to see how life would like to luck you out and lock you out of some things that you're not meant to do now. So like, for example, your business falls over. Okay, that loved one disappears. This job becomes unbearable, you know, this territory becomes untouchable. Nobody wants to invite you in this group anymore. You have lost your friends, you have lost your opportunities. How are you going, how the heck are you going to put it all together? And life is going to do it for you. And life has probably prepared for you something, some kind of Prince Charming, as she would in a fairy tale, or just some kind of fairy godmother, as she would in a fairy tale, to help you along. And some of the time we don't like that. No, I want to do it myself. You know, like a little child, 5 years old. No, mommy, I want to tie my own shoelaces, and that's absolutely fine. But you see, you have to stop with that frigid behavior, which is sometimes like what shocks people. So imagine you have all the world to look forward to. Somehow there are bigger and bigger and bigger prizes. There are greater and greater and greater wins. There are larger and larger sums of money. There are bigger and bigger people. There are good thoughts and feelings. There are greater frontiers. There are many, many important and special things that life could give you. But you kind of like sticking it out. That's okay. I got this. I got this. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. And that's why sometimes things are no longer for offer, or they can't manifest. So like, this is something that I've done myself, and I've seen this happen for a lot of people. Life knocks on your door and goes, hey, let's go over here. And you're like, no, I know my stuff. I'm happy where I am, right? I work so hard. You know, there's like lots of stories. I work so hard. I respect my man. Like, I don't want to leave my house. I would never do this. I would never do that. I would never leave this behind. I would never leave this part of the world behind. Like anything. But life is like, come on, like seriously, like let's go. And sometimes life just stands there for years, you know. So this happens sometimes to me. I see this a lot in the younger generation as well. It's crazy. People are obvious for them. There are certain stories obvious for them. There are certain frontiers wide open. Here, like just have it. And then we later on get really stuck on things. And this is where, you know, we have these experiences like, for example, oh, you know, a person got married and had children while their real sweetheart has been waiting for like 5 or 6 or 7 years for like a new chance at a relationship. But that was time for like 6 or 7 years ago, and now it's kind of a little hard, it's sticky, but it's still time. To that person is still there, like waiting, like come on, I'm the real one. So like, this is what I'm feeling about a lot of Virgos, of course, at this point in time. Something is real and it's relevant, and it's kind of like excuse me, here we have and then you might be too busy sorting out your errands and brushing your hair and I don't know, changing your sheets and I don't know, wiping front to back, like to be able to actually do anything about anything. So you might actually be too stuck in your patterns, and these practical patterns are going to inevitably become uncomfortable. So the way that I would do it is relax right about now. So we are at the end of 2021, and something that I've done for my thyroid, something that I've done for my stress levels and hormone levels is take a lot of time off, sleep, like heavy sleep, and also like B vitamins and protein, like upping my protein, B vitamins, putting some vitamin C in there, trying to do something different for my system. So just relax. Sometimes one of the worst things that can happen to a Virgo person, they get really pumped up, full of feelings or like energy or ego, usually ego quite easily, and they want to do everything, and they got to do it, and they don't really remember what it is that they even really want in their life. They just want to do the mission or the job, or they make this practice very important, or they do all these things for other people, and they're still fighting everybody. And all we have to do is just watch out for the darkness that can come in while you think that you're being the best person in the world. While you're being clean and proper and under control, and you've got everything like upside down without knowing it. You might have some things completely upside down in your world and think you got it right. You might have a certain religious or emotional system bullying you into things and believing it for dear life. So there are like lots of ways in which you might be insecure, and you might be building an external shell, like out of what you've done or what you know, what you've published or what you made or who you are, while you being very, very innocent and very, very raw inside. So expect yourself to be helped. Sometimes life can see you. It's like, hey, you're like a little 12-year-old kid over there. It's like, no, I'm strong. I got all my accounts checked. I checked out all my balances. Like I've done all of this. I've done it. I got this. And some of the time, what we need is basically to let life and love happen. And sometimes, like when you don't want it, but someone gives you a hug, and the hug feels so good. And it's like, gosh, I just really, really needed this, Like this is how I feel sometimes. I have this, got to share it. I got this drink, I actually got an anemia since I was a kid. So basically, I started coming to terms with it. So I had this drink of this hot chocolate with some iron inside, right? I bought this like little powdered chocolate drink from a chemist here. And oh my gosh, every time I drink this drink, I feel like I'm just having the biggest hug with life. Like nature just gives me the biggest hug in the world, like it just gives me like all the love that I've missed for such a long time. And this is the type of feeling that I'm seeing for you guys as well, for the end of the year 2022 as well. Also reunited with a loved one, being finally held, having somebody help you with your work, having someone count on themselves for you, letting another person be strong for you, or having everything cleared and you walking by yourself, you're still doing your own thing, but just having all of that debris, like all of that stuff cleared for you so you can actually walk. So that's the thing. I think that a lot of us, people that are so tired of ourselves and wanting to help or wishing to be number one for someone else, we've got to stop and we got to just let it go. So like anemia, for example, something that happens because of this. I'm not sure if you have it or not, but like sometimes, you got to understand that you are doing things in your detriment. Like even if you are the cleanest person in the world, lifting weights, running around in circles, you have your dog, you have your cat, you love your life, even if you're really, really pulling a lot of weight, some of the time people can see that you are fine, but you are just fine. If you have somebody that knows, and they're basically seeing, it's almost like you are on a tiny, tiny piece of land and all around you is water. And there's going to be maybe a person or even a bunch of people that can rescue you. So they just get close on their little boat and they say, yeah, we know you really stand by this little piece of land, but you see everything's flooding, so come here. So imagine it like that. You're standing on a little piece of land and all around is water, and soon the water raises and you won't be able to succeed. And we have to also understand why we're doing that, especially if you are very, very, very diligent and very proper. And I also had some people come into my life recently that have overdone it, over-exercised, over-metabolized, over-tried, over-produced, and over-zealously created. And we have to understand if it is us. So the wise thing to do here is to take some time off. If you have a hypothyroidism, if you have overproductive things in your liver, probably not. But if you have certain type of illnesses, maybe it is about vitamins. Maybe it is about trying to flood yourself with the beauty of this world. Maybe it is about having beautiful hugs. Maybe it is about having more nature time and animal time. Maybe it's about doing things that are yours. So, for example, come what may, whether or not my project lives or dies, whether or not my next financial step is this or that, I love to knit. My grandmother taught me how to knit, and I love knitting. Sometimes I just sit there and I just knit, I love it. So like there is something about you, guys, that is very, very easy to fix. And it's usually very, very, very raw for you if anybody sees your weakness, especially if you try so hard and if you have carried so much of other people's weight or yourself, your own weight. So basically what we have to do here is stop and let another person pick you up. Sometimes it might even be your mom or dad. Like, how are you going alone, like in your apartment? Yeah, I'm going good. Yeah, I paid the bills. Yeah, but do you want to come home? No, I'm okay. No, I mean, we can help you, it's okay. Understand that sometimes people are like that. It's an extreme example, of course. I mean, sometimes mom and dad will rescue you. And sometimes we have to be alright that we don't really want to do all that stuff. And the best way sometimes is to cry, especially if you have honestly wanted yourself to be part of this world so bad, and now you understand it's not sustainable to you anymore. Example, world of drugs. Example, the world of show business. Example, the world of, telecommunication, or constantly being online, working online. You don't want to do it anymore. Or like the world of competitive thinking, or having to be in a certain type of place where you are constantly judged on your performance. Okay, you don't want to be that. So maybe there are some people that are very, very good and easy for it. Maybe for some people to do that is very easy. Maybe for another person who is like a Libra or like a Capricorn, it's very easy, but for you it's difficult. And then we also have to understand where you are not working. I mean, if you like, you can always go and get a test. So maybe see if you have any shortages in your system. Like, okay, how is my hemoglobin levels? Like, what is my iron? Like, how am I going? Do I have enough nutrients in my system? How can you check if you are okay? And then also letting other people, doctors, people, therapists, thyroid specialists, I don't know, let you kind of be cool maybe with their expectation, expertise, and help you, just a little bit, plump you up. It could be like 5 or 6 different people this year. So the best is not to get too excited about life and also like running away. For goodness sakes, it's not just about like gushing and moving to a cabin in the woods unless you're really strong. You can do it. I'm gonna try. So like it's all about actually like the nature of you and how are you provided at ease. Also noticing anything in your body, like I get really tight with this person, I get really red in the face, I get I get really nice, but I'm also not nice. Like all of this stuff happens for a reason. And it's all about having self-respect for yourself and other people, and also people in the greater community, and knowing how it works as a giant natural universe. So you don't have to speak fast to be heard. You don't have to have lots of friends to be popular. You don't have to be annoyed all the time to create. We can't compete on some levels. So for example, you work so hard, and then your children are not minded, so maybe it would be not so good for them that you're working so hard. Or for example, that mother or father always, have a freaking bad day, and they come home all fiery and angry, red in the face. There is something about who you are that has to change, basically. And this is very, 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 very sticky for a person with a lot of ego and aggression. So for example, somebody goes, look, take some time off. You kind of like suck at this, so don't do it anymore. Don't do it anymore. No, how can you say this? I will succeed. Like, try not to piss against the wind here. Try not to suck up to people either. So the thing is, like, sometimes, like, look, just take time, like bench time, just sit down, it's okay. Nobody really, like, time out, like, nobody really wants you, ever wanted you to work or to do things at this level. Nothing really wanted you to be perfect, and nobody tried to help you do it either. So especially if you are in your own thing, it's like, I made it myself, like, I made this business and now it's like riding me, like, it's just so hard and heavy all the time. There is somebody else that knows how. And also, like, letting another person be good at stuff. Now this is hard for some people. Someone else, somebody might do better than you. Okay? Like, I understand this as well. Like, there are some people that are much better than I can be at some things. There are some people that are helping me understand that as well. Very subtly, but they are. So this is the thing. It's like, sometimes there is going to be just a better than you. Okay? Or there are going to be ways in which other people don't even have to struggle. Like, for example, for somebody like me to write 7 pages is just an hour of my time. For another person, it's like a while. So, like, that's the thing. It's like, some people are very, very, very good at something. So for example, I don't know how to play guitar very good. I play guitar, I sing, and I play guitar. Sing is okay, but, like, I can't guitar. And that means maybe someone else needs to help me with guitar. Very simple. Another thing is, like, I need to learn. Another thing is to get through it without self-judgment and all of these dramas that we have in our heads. What would Jesus do? Or, like, what did my father want me to do? How did I really get in this? Understand, you don't have to get it really complicated here. You don't have to be tied up in knots, which is what I'm seeing for quite a few people with Virgo energy. You don't have to be in a knot. You don't have to be in a bow. You don't have to be anything at all. You can just enjoy your own time. And also, one other thing is, nobody really wants you to unsucceed. So the competitive edge of Tiger here, you don't want to maybe see it or believe it, but nobody's actually counting on you. They're not like, haha, I think she won't do this. Or, like, I think he can't lift that much weight. Nobody is sitting there like a little goblin, unless it's you on your own back. People say the monkey on my back, right? Like, ha ha ha. He can't provide the service, or she can't be good enough at this job. Nobody cares. And nobody probably ever cared. And also your parents probably never did. It's just that they didn't know what to fill space during the dinner with. Okay, so I understand why you guys would not ever believe me, but this is just how it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. Today, people sit down, they have families cosmetically, okay? People don't want to know this. Maybe it's a little bit too soon, too harsh, I don't know. They just talk about stuff. So it's like, how did you do at school, Johnny? Oh, did you get an A? Oh, you got a C. It's like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to connect. They don't even know what they're eating, why they're eating this stuff. But they make sense of it by speaking, because that's what their ancestors have done. A lot of people by the fire, at the end of the day, talk about what they found in the forest. Look, I found some rabbits. Let's have some rabbit legs. Oh, okay, I found some berries. Okay, like, that's what they did. Oh, yeah, I saw the neighbors, like, over there, did this. Oh, wow, look at that. So, like, people did a complete system of family life based on their natural ecosystem. These days we live, where do we live? We live in the cities. So the conversation, we have governments, we have Christianity. Okay, we have the Roman Catholic Church, never mind. Okay, we have a lot of different stuff that basically controlled our lives for centuries, a couple of centuries at least. And the thing is, like, we don't really know what to say to each other. So when people talk to their children, they do this because everybody else is doing it, and their parents did it. So they were like taught to do this, and they don't understand. It's like how ugly it is. And then, like, we grow up and we think, oh, mother said this, or like daddy said that, and this is seen especially in a lot of the religious world. And we have got to just leave it alone and know that we can't be inside that satanic system of control, of contribution to only a certain part of the world and only a certain type of way. We've got to stop judging ourselves and other people. Judgment is a big part of Virgo usually, and this year specifically. So at the end of the year, it'll get very much better for you anyway. So for example, the business closes down. The business closed down. This is better for you anyway. Okay, that person doesn't want to speak to you. Okay, good. Okay. You know, like, leave it alone. So the thing is not to care so much for things that you don't even know you shouldn't care about. And sometimes life just does it, okay? Your job doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because you're working for a corrupt system, that's why. But no, but I've spent so much time there. It's like, yeah, well, you know, say goodbye. We don't like that. You know, we make meanings like, but no, like, the fruit of my life is at that job. Like, I'm a therapist, or like, I'm a doctor, or like, wow. You know, no one is anything like that. You just are. How about that? You just are. But like, people don't like that about themselves. They can't just be like, you know what? I am. You know, sometimes I look, sometimes I don't look, sometimes I think, I don't think. You know, sometimes I'm just like kind of crazy, and then sometimes I'm like really lazy. And then sometimes I'm really funny. Like, I like that about me. You know, so this took a long time for me to accept. Some of the time I can't even move. I just sit there in a chair and I look at my life and I think about love and I think about, I don't know, God, whatever. There's not really anybody that knows what to do in the modern world, because they all come from different places and they all have different types of energies, different types of dysfunction in the body, everything like that. Nobody needs to get it right, because there is no right. Like, where you come from, like, I don't know, Indonesia, come from Great Britain, you come from Venezuela, you come from Russia, you come from USA. Oh no, wait, where are you from? Britain. Okay, cool. You know, like, so this is the thing. Like, you basically got to understand where you are from. And sometimes a lot of your cloudiness and anger and frustration and jealousy and system control and I'm not enough, it's just because you are competing in a system that is not providing anything for your specific genetic system, or it can't help you, and it won't do. So if you are thriving in a certain type of world ecology, like for example, middle of New York City, or like Hawaii, or I don't know, like anywhere, like any other kind of center of consciousness, you have to know yourself, like, what do you want to do there, and also understand what doesn't work. What are you plugged into? It's not just your job. It's not just like sleep, wake up, job, home, TV, sleep. It's not like this. It's never going to be like this. And it's not like, oh, international collectives, all good, everybody's the same. Nobody's the same. Thousands of years of evolution, nobody's the same. Everybody is completely different. And the way their countries and their tribes and everything have managed. Okay, I'm not just a white person, for example. I'm not just a Russian person. I also have other genetic material, you know. So also for yourself, maybe you're not just an Indian person, you're not just a Venezuelan person. Maybe you have another culture with you as well, like a Hispanic person, like maybe is inside you as well as a Venezuelan, you know. Maybe there is another way that you could see the world, and it's really, really like practical right about now to think and just to see that, you know, you don't have to just go, I work within the modern world. I go to the restaurants like everybody else. You know, I have a cell phone. You know, like I watch TV. I watch the same movies as everybody else. You have to grow up. So the system's collapsed already. It's just not very obvious to some people. So the system's collapse means you have to understand your root system anew. So you have to evolve your previous dimension of who you are. And that means not making any trouble there. That means creating your own knowing of yourself, and also understanding how your genetic and your ethnicity works in a certain space. How families have been made in a certain cultural context. In your lifetime, maybe not, but maybe in your parents' lifetime, it's very important for us to understand that genetic memories are. Okay? And not many people want to do that much else, because we are thousands of years older than we truly are. We are only just a little flower on a tree, you understand? You are just a flower on a tree. And your roots go into a really, really, really old ancient system of life. Okay, so this is the thing, is not to combat those systems. Oh, I've got to be the perfect mother. I've got to have a perfect body. I've got to like show up and like be there, and I got to help people. And I guess what else is in the value system of today's society? There is nothing more important than who you are. So the way that I would do it here, especially for people who are very confused as to how to apply the energy, where to show up, where not to be, is just to know by now, like how you work as an organism, how you work as an ethnicity, as a culture, as a giant, okay, as a giant part of a long line of people. And also to give to yourself more and more and more and more investment based on the repetitive patterns that might come back from the past in order to allow the future to be strong, to reference the past is to make a better future. So like that's the thing, not a lot of people know about this, and I think that a lot of people are really confused, Facebook and Instagram and Tinder and dating, blah blah. They don't really understand how to talk to themselves. And basically the thing is to respect yourself. And this is something that Virgo is really short on at the moment, because Virgo is actually not just the worker. What work? Like 6 houses. The house of work. Virgo is actually just natural algorithms and systems of care. How much time does it take for a plant to grow? What do we need for a flourishing garden? How much water should this plant take in comparison to how much this plant should take? It's a natural world. And we shouldn't have to be talking, listening, thinking, drawing, crafting, landscaping, anything. It's not about building the pyramid anymore because it can't grow. So that's the thing. Thank you very much, Virgo. I hope this has been enjoyable and funny at least. Okay, so I have a book, 2022. Year of the Water Tiger. If you're curious, I predicted everything in that book. If you like, maybe not all of it you need, but it's curious. I have a colored digital version, and I also have a black and white physical version if you like to scribble. So yes, thank you very much. It has some of my illustrations in it, which should be fun, curious for some people, I suppose, kind of attractive. And also, yes, what else? Have a look at my channel. I have also a Patreon. If you don't usually have specialized readings by me, I do a specialized Virgo session for every month on Patreon, and for other signs obviously. So check out my Patreon, and also if you like, you can get a reading or something like that. And yes, thank you. Bye.